What's up, everybody? I'm here this morning. I'm Wayne Linder. I'm here with Neville Shind. We're in the highly technical Pioneer Studios this morning for episode number 2 of Rock, Roll, Relax. I was just sharing with Mr. Shind that I'm disappointed in our schedule. I love the podcast. I love it when we talk about. Just so you guys know, it's Friday morning, not Wednesday afternoon.
I know. I'm the one that scheduled this, but isn't it just like bus scheduling? Like, don't you wish you could tell a tour, oh no, why don't you start on the Saturday because the bus doesn't come back till Saturday, so I need to start your tour on Saturday.
Man, all of our problems would be solved if people toured when we suggested.
Yes, that would be. They should call us up first. Wayne, hey, when do I have that double slide available?
That's exactly right.
I'm booking some tours here.
That'll be awesome. That'll be awesome.
Well, speaking of like booking tours, my friend Blake McDaniel from CAA helped educate me on at least the artist perspective, dealing with like promoters and how the concert tours actually get together and the deals get signed.
Let's make the deal.
You got, I guess, in the signal flow of things is you got a promoter, territorial agent, responsible agent, and then artist management, and these are the key figures involved in like piecing together
a tour.
Live tours. Yeah, pretty much.
Road,
and you know, it really starts off with the representative agent and artist, or the agent artist. They negotiate a concert deal with a buyer, and then the TA kind of solicits that and negotiates the initial contract, and then the TA passes that on to the responsible agent, who then presents it to the artist manager. And at that point, the artist manager and the representative agent or responsible agent get together and they discuss whether hey, we're going to accept it or we'll reject it, or let's get a better deal. And it pretty much goes from there. But the promoter really is the guy who puts up the money for the show. It organizes marketing, sells the tickets, and does all those parts that are involved.
So that it really looks like it's crazy when you think about all the steps to get a rock show in a club, in an arena, in a city.
Majorly.
Yeah, it's people don't stop and realize or stop and think about all the steps that lead up to that, even before they reach out, and they have to work out all those details before they even reach out to go, hey, how are we going to get there?
Right.
How are we going to?
Well, how much is the money? How big is the venue? What's the production value going to look like? And then once you know all those pieces and you got your stage plot set up, then it's like, well, how many people does it take to make this happen? On the smaller tours, where they have like an $8,000 guarantee or something, maybe it's just 12 guys on a bus, including the band and the tour manager, and the tour manager's wearing all the hats, including being the accountant and trying to get the money and the merch and all that stuff together. But then you get into these bigger tours where it's like, whether it's a Brad Paisley or it's a Kiss tour or whatever, the production value is so huge. You got 7-9 buses and 20 something semis to piece together all this with pyro, and that maybe that's 30 people.
Exactly. It could be 7-8 bus loads of people rolling down the road every night. It's funny that you bring that up, because I was just explaining yesterday about how our drivers have to be so versatile, because being a driver on a one bus, one trailer tour is I would say, polar opposite of being a driver on a multi-bus tour that does arenas.
Majorly, yes. And then on a multi-bus tour, the difficult thing, especially you may have artist and band bus side, maybe 3 buses on that side, and then you might have 5 on the production side. And they don't all necessarily travel together, but they're still a team, and putting together a team, and this is some of my challenges, is getting people that play well together. Yeah. And these tours go out for months at a time, so you definitely have to have characters that are able to meld and work together and help each other up.
Another thing, talking about teams working together, every tour's chain of command is different.
Yep.
Every tour has a different way. Some tour managers like a lot of communication, and some tour managers like not so much communication.
Right.
They like just execution. So figuring that stuff out is huge.
So at the beginning, we're talking about the TA, RA, artist manager. And then at that point, when they finally get everything locked in and have this tour and they have the routing, that's really the step where they'll reach out to you, and it's usually like a tour manager, right, or a business manager maybe, or
Absolutely, work with both. There's no set way. We work with the majority of tour managers. Our relationships are with business managers as well. But they'll typically the first call that we typically get is, "Hey, I think our tour is going to be from this date to this date, and I think we'll need this many buses."
So it's almost like while they're working with a promoter and going through that step that I discussed earlier, they're already reaching out to you and going, "Hey, here's the."
Yes, absolutely, because anymore they understand that the demand for buses is high, and it's not just high in the summer. Now it's the demand is high year round.
Right.
So I always ask tour managers and business managers to, hey, if you have a tentative tour, let's try to start locking some stuff in,
right,
and hope that it doesn't move too much.
And that's sometimes like obviously I see it where you'll lock in a bus for a whole year for an artist, and they don't have all the shows yet, but they're working on it. And then those holes where they're not using the bus, sometimes, like we call the term sublease, where they'll say, "Hey, we're going to be in Europe from here to here," even though they're paying for that bus at a discount rate for a long-term lock-in. They'll say, "Hey, you can use this bus during this time."
Yeah. We're highly motivated to on annual leases to sublease a bus to other artists,
right?
And it works well
both ways. Like it helps them as well.
Absolutely.
So let's talk. So you get that the call, you lock in the bus, you start negotiating. What are the steps from there? So it's a verbal phone call, and then
it's a verbal phone. But the steps are. Let's get some confirmed dates.
Right.
Let's get some confirmed cities.
Because you want to see mileages too, like
absolutely. We've got the bidding process and the estimate process revised. It's an art. The only variable. There's two variables that we struggle with, and that's the price of fuel.
Yep.
And when you're going to need a co-driver. Well,
right.
Once we figure those two things out, then we can. I mean, it's smooth sailing. We're down the road. We agree on all the terms, and at that point we send some paperwork, and I pass it on to you. And
right.
You start putting your team together.
And that's where I was going to get to. And you and I work organically together on this because lining up the right person. Like in our first episode, we were talking about how tour managers would rather have a perfect driver than the perfect bus, because the human element is really what does that wax on and delivers the full package to the client, especially the trust factor and the safety factor, and get along with them. So that really is when you hand it off to me, and then we see if whatever buses it's lining up with, I might suggest, hey, can we move this over to here, because I know they've been asking for this driver, and this guy would work perfect, and he's done this tour. Or even like what we were mentioning about team things, which is really a challenge too. You got 9 buses, and you're trying to put 9 drivers that can actually get along with each other without stealing each other's French fries or something, Yeah. So that's a really kind of, I call it the Rubik's Cube.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to reiterate to everyone that's listening: if a tour requests a driver, we do everything possible to make that happen.
Right.
If a tour requests a specific bus, we do everything we can to accommodate that.
Well, and I'll add the challenge on my end is because when I came in the office like 9 years ago, one of my major things that I wanted to do and change was assign drivers buses. But in order to assign a driver a bus, he has to be the perfect 5 parts. He has to be, a person that does his homework, looks after the clients, is a really good and smooth driver.
A true chameleon.
Yeah, true chameleon. And as well as all those parts of being a good servant, keeping a clean bus, doing all his duties with a smile. Yeah. And then if the bus breaks down, he knows how to, not worry everybody. So if you can get and train your people and your drivers to be that package, then it's easier to keep them on a coach. And it benefits the driver, it benefits the company to be assigned a coach for a whole year, because you get to know that equipment, and that equipment will treat you well if you treat it well.
Absolutely.
So that's our challenge too, because it's like, yes, we want to give you the driver you want, but we need to make sure it lines up. And that's why we want to tell you to start on Saturday and change.
Yeah. So that's the big takeaway from this episode. If you have a tour going out, just tour when
we tell you to.
That's awesome.
Call us first.
That's great. Thanks for the break, Neville. It's just so you guys know, it's still morning here, Friday morning, and we didn't wait till the afternoon to finish this up. So if we sound a little sluggish, we're still chugging coffee and getting going.
Nothing like good Java.
That's right.
In the morning.
But hey, we got some questions that came in, and thank you guys very much for that. This is great. This is what we want, and I think Neville, you got.
We had one of our listeners, Daryl Redden. Thanks, Daryl, for listening, and thanks for your feedback. Very much appreciated. Daryl actually, in his email, said, as far as the podcast go, he'd love to hear our take of what's in store for the future of the business from a driver's standpoint. And then in technology, whether it's interior or bus technology, what we see as far as that is coming down, like in the future, and driver retention, attracting new drivers. That's always a challenge, in keeping drivers. So.
What we've seen most recently, as far as technology goes, is the implementation of the ELDs.
Yes,
which actually we implemented years before the mandate. And we have been very happy with the result.
4 years before the mandate came through. Absolutely. And thanks to the Entertainer Motor Coach Council, actually, our Brandon, who was our Washington contact with the ABA, put that on my radar a lot earlier than a lot of other people grabbed it. And we decided we would check it out and experiment with it, and we did. And, within, I think, a year of just the trial run, we ended up implementing it on every single one of our buses.
Yeah,
it definitely opened up the challenge, or opened up our eyes to the need of co-drivers, like a lot of co-drivers. Yeah. Practically 10 to 15 co-drivers every week going out to stay completely compliant.
But the great thing about this is we are compliant and safe, and our industry is safer. And I really.
And our clients know that too.
It's a great thing to say when you're speaking to someone that we're 100% compliant and we obey the law and love it, and
right.
It's the way to do things.
Well, and they know that their safety is our concern, and we're not just speaking outside of our mouth. We mean it. The DOT is watching. But it's not necessarily that's the reason. And it was funny when we implemented. I remember tour managers going, new law changes. Well, it wasn't new law change. It was the same law, the exact 10 hours of drive time, or if it's a truck, 11 hours. The 870 rule. None of the rules changed. It just basically had digital technology tethered to the computer in the motor. You can't lie.
Exactly. Well, most tour managers who had toured in Europe were used to it. It was just a new thing in the United States. But I'm happy to say that everyone around here has accepted it, and we get valuable information. More new technology we've implemented. We've got forward-facing cameras on every bus.
That's technology, and it actually picks up the posted speed limit, the sign. But, if you go through a construction zone that is on a 70-mile-an-hour highway and it drops down to 55, the camera picks it up. That technology is amazing.
Yeah, it's good stuff, and we can use that information if there's ever any question about what happened in front of a
accidents, and not just accidents. The thing for when there is damage for insurance purposes too, or if you want to know where a driver's at, the road conditions, etc., or a breakdown is really where it comes in handy too. GPS location, being able to see where the person is at that breakdown and get service trucks out to them or whatever you need.
Anything that we can do to make the experience better for the people that are on the bus, the people who are touring.
Correct.
We're after that.
Yeah.
We want, when things do happen on the road, we want to respond quickly and accurately.
I've always told our drivers that I want them always to think of themselves as the good guy in every situation. And if there's a hard situation that comes up, give it to the office. Give it to me, give it to you, give it to Doug Oliver, someone management in the office, and we'll be the bad cop, in other words. You be the good cop all the time. Whether it's a breakdown, let the shop tell them that, okay, now we have to replace a bus. You do not do that. Let me do that.
Yeah, exactly.
So all you really need to do is just look after the client.
What you're talking about is we support.
100%.
We support drivers and tours, and we do our best, and we're trying to, and we're constantly trying to get better at that.
100%.
So,
and it's all about communication.
Yeah.
Clear, concise communication to everyone, including our drivers and the client, etc.
Some more technology that we've added. We put some two-way radios on them.
Oh, the Motorola stuff, which are great. They get out to I think 18 miles.
I forget.
It's great, and they've worked wonders on these multi-bus tours.
Yeah.
When you got 9-10 buses out on a tour, and the guys are able to communicate with each other while rolling down the road, no matter how far they're away from each other, it's invaluable.
Yeah, it
definitely
works really well. As far as technology on the interior of the buses, who knows what technology is going to bring? I think that we're going to see, and we all want this. Hopefully, the internet speeds will be quicker.
Yes,
more accurate.
One of the bigger,
we. It's funny because when we started this years and years ago, everybody wanted bump TVs, and now
nobody wants
right. They want. So who knows what's going to phase in or out?
Yeah, it's hard to predict that. One thing I've had drivers ask me, with like Tesla has automated driving, and I know they were testing automated driving trucks in Arizona for the last 5 years or something. And I've always looked at it this way: if in the future, say in 5-10 years, and vehicles do become automated, they're still going to need an operator. The operator may have a different type of education. They might have to be more educated in, troubleshooting software or maintaining software, download, something to that effect. But the job will still be there in some form. Whether, yes, you have technology, but you still have to clean the bus and take the garbage out and back.
That's futuristic space Neville talking. I don't even want to consider that kind of technology. That just kind of
the Jetsons, I think.
Yeah,
flying cars. Where are the flying cars?
That's pretty.
We were supposed to have flying cars by this time.
That's exactly right. We were supposed to. I don't see any around. I don't see any around.
Yeah. Beam me up, Scotty. And people didn't see me tap my chest when I did that.
That's pretty good. Okay, Scotty, we're thanks for beaming us back here. Hey, the next question talked about driver retention and driver pay, and I'll just be the first to say that I think that a good driver package is, and what I mean by package is pay and the opportunity to participate in some retirement savings, and we've created that here.
We have. I think that's important, but I think also one of the main ingredients of driver retention is treatment. How do you treat your drivers? Do they feel like they have a voice and are listened to? Are you taking care of any issues that are brought up? And, that we say, family matters. but we show family matters. Like if there's issues or somebody has things with the family, we work with them. On my end, I definitely know I work with them in the sense of, if a driver has a wedding or a daughter's recital that he'd really like to attend, I'll do everything I can to make sure, that's why we have a good co-driver pool and relief driver pool where we can actually fly in a driver, cover him for, 3, 4, 5 days while he takes care of family matters, and then he flies back. And again, it's the communication. All the human element, tour managers understand that. Like I had a driver who his wife was pregnant, and we worked around to make sure that he could be there for the birth of his child, and he was. And we had great relief drivers cover, and the tour managers understood what was going on. No one's going to, balk at that. And that's where you gain a lot of loyalty, including those packages like that simple IRA that we offer. And
yeah, it's all good stuff, and I'm really excited. The new drivers that are wanting to come in this industry are very. It's very exciting to see these guys come in and want to learn the ways that we operate and be legal and.
Well, for the listeners out there that are interested in getting in the industry or that have a CDL and driving motor coach or trucks or whatever, my suggestion, the way we do things here at Pioneer Coach, is all my full-time drivers come from the co-driver pool. So even it doesn't matter your experience, you're going to start in the co-driver relief pool first. And that's kind of almost like where we get to test you and you get to test us. Do I like Pioneer? Do I like the way they do things? And I look at it like, what's the feedback? What are the drivers saying about this co-driver? What are the tour managers saying? And if this person is stellar and doing, like I was saying about the package, and he shows that he has the elements of all those pieces that are needed, then he's probably on the fast track to getting an assigned seat.
It's very much performance based, and if we have drivers that go out and get glowing reviews and can adapt to any tour, it's very much performance based, and those are the drivers that do well.
They do well, and then they are treated well as well. Yeah. As well. That was a lot of wells. Right. Sorry. All right. Well,
we're back. This is we have too much coffee now. We're wound up. It's still morning time, and we're probably going to be talking fast. But this will be cool stuff. Neville's got some safety, some DOT tips for you.
Yeah, especially as we're rolling into the summer. Every year, the FM, CSA, and DOT do a on-side road inspections, and there's a couple of tips for being able to get through these on-side road inspections. And one of the things, in the past, you could get violations on your logbook for like mileages and missing locations, etc. And those have all been eliminated with the electronic logs. But the violations like hours of service or 870 or even vehicle violations, they're still there. Right. And that's part of what these on-side road inspections are all about.
Yep.
But really, there's a couple of really good common sense tips. And I would say the first tip is keep a clean vehicle. Even if you're in the snow or whatever, or you're running through rain, when you stop, fuel up, make sure your mirrors are clean, your lights, your rear lights are clean. And especially the interior, when that officer comes to the door and they're trained in observation, if your driver's area is not cluttered and it's clean and you have your paperwork ready, etc., that right there is just put you in a better position to get through that inspection.
Certainly does, and basically we're talking about being a professional driver.
Right. And the other, my step or tip 2 was being diligent on your pre-trips, because the pre-trip is going to help you find if there's a leak or if there's a marker light out, because those are other things that, an officer may use as like, oh, he's got a marker light out and one of the tail lights is burnt. Well, pull him over for an inspection, see what's going on.
And if that officer is a
deputy dog?
No. If he's one of those...
Who's that?
No, if that officer sees one thing, it may lead him to look for more. So,
correct. Yep.
So the more professional, the more squared away you are. And the pre-trip inspection is so important. Everything from tires and lights, and you know the myriad of things that are covered.
Right. So being prepared, having your paperwork ready, your ELD, all your ducks are in a row, and you're pleasant
And professional.
and professional. I would say that is probably extremely important, is being courtesy and having that good demeanor, because it will allow you to get through that in an expedient manner, and the officer's impression would be like, okay, this guy's got his stuff together, and we'll make this inspection quick and concise and go through it and send you on your way.
Absolutely.
So that's my tip on, these summer roadside inspections. If you get there, remember those, and you too will smoothly get through. Ooh, that rhymed.
All right, we're going to wind this one down.
Yeah.
I really appreciate you, girls and guys and tour managers.
Gentlemen, thank you for listening.
This is cool stuff. Hopefully you're finding it valuable. Please communicate with us. Wayne at pioneercoach.com.
Or Neville at pioneercoach.com.
And we look forward to hearing from you.
Yeah, send us your input, suggestions, questions that we can answer. I'd like this to be a very organic, educational podcast, and as well as informative. So thanks for listening. This has been a Pioneer Coach Presents Rock, Roll, Relax, a podcast.